Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this week for this week's Q&A with Community Health Alliance. I wanted you guys to get to know Community Health Alliance. Even I don't think I understand the scope of what they're able to accomplish. And they're one of our grantees, so I really wanted this opportunity to connect with them. Want to tell you about who's joining us today. It's Patricia Aluyen, and I actually got a great little bio from her, and so I'm going to read most of it because I really enjoyed it. She started her career in 2003 at a local hospital in California, which we will not hold against her, and eventually ventured out into teaching medical assisting part-time, and also fulfilled a position as a practice manager while coordinating patient care at a doctor's office, which I believe is her specialty, is patient care. She specialized in, those offices specialized in cardiology, family practice, internal medicine, and urgent care. She holds a bachelor's degree in education to become a teacher, and this is the part I like. We can't live without our teachers, but she chose to commit her life to helping patients and working side by side with healthcare providers, which is just really awesome. And in a time that we're in right now is something that we don't have enough of. Patricia, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. Nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. I know, right? Hello, nice to meet you. I think part of my problem was, I'm kind of new to Susan G. Komen. I started in July. And when I came on, I didn't know a lot about them at all. I knew they had the race. And that's even today, as I work for them, when people have that kind of blank look on their face, I go, oh, hey, you remember Race for the Cure? Oh, yeah, that's Susan G. Komen. What we do seems to just be so much more than that. And then I think that's only possible because of organizations like yours. We couldn't do anything without organizations like yours. So I really wanted to take a minute and find out, one, in broad strokes, what is Community Health Alliance?
So Community Health Alliance is a place where the community can come to. We serve a more vulnerable population in the community, and that includes patients and individuals that have low income, no income at all, like the unemployed, underserved, uninsured patients, patients that are afraid to come forward when they're sick because they're undocumented, and we try to make them feel comfortable and make sure that we are open to the community for the resources and the grants and fundings that we have, and one of them is Susan G. Komen. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a great team in making sure that the providers are keeping a close watch in their patient care, and making sure that we are all connected with the community and letting them know that they have a place to come to when they're sick or when they have certain underlying conditions, and we are here for them all the time.
So are you actually a medical facility?
Yes, we are. The types of services we offer are very broad. We have medical, we do dental, behavioral health, and we try to incorporate the medical and the behavioral health in one visit, just so that we can capture everything that they need behavioral health wise. And we also have pharmacy, which is really great, and lab services, which is another awesome thing for patients. They don't have to go anywhere else. So after they're being seen, they can go straight to the lab. We work with Quest, so they're an awesome group, and they're a great organization. And we also do the WIC for mothers who are in need of help when they are, pregnant, and I'm pretty much sure that, the community knows what this is, but we foster it to the community where it's available for them to come when they need certain help when they're pregnant or after post-pregnancy. We are there for them all the way. We also have a food pantry for the less fortunate, low-income community. We have a schedule where they can come in, and we put up a really huge truck full of food that they can take home, and they're so happy every time they come. And especially these times, a lot of people are more unemployed. They are slowly but surely coming in and asking for food resources.
Wow, that is, it's almost an endless resource for you guys.
Yes.
You're doing
yes.
a
We're
lot.
very
Now,
busy.
no kidding, no kidding. Do you have one location or do you have multiple locations?
We have multiple locations. One office just opened up in North Valley, and all our offices cater to the communities close by locally, and some even travel to different offices. So we have one in North Valley, we have one in Sparks, we have one at Wells Avenue, we have one in Record Street for majority of the time they are also seeing a homeless population at the Record Street in Reno. And we are very strong in those locations, meaning we have a great outreach to different local communities, and they know very well where we all are situated. So it's a really great resource for that, for the community.
Oh my gosh, you are not kidding. Again, I feel so semi-selfish when I do these little Q&As because I really mostly am doing them for myself, right? I'm like, I just feel though that fortunately it does hopefully benefit. Now you guys are in the Reno Sparks area, correct?
Yes, we are.
Now, I also noticed you talked about, and I just want to touch on it briefly, undocumented citizens. I'm calling them citizens.
Right.
I believe personally, I'm that girl that believes we're all related, we're all family. So
yes.
I'm going with the word citizen. So what is that? If you can just briefly give me what is that process like for them? Is it simple or do they got to fill out a lot of paperwork? How do we go about that?
So we make it very comfortable for the patient or the individual to come forward to us because, and some of the cases I've seen so far, the biggest reason they have is, I don't want to do this test because I'm undocumented, and they're afraid. And we have that patient confidentiality, and we make sure they are, we reassure them with that, and we are true to our word when it comes to giving optimal health to patients, regardless of their demographic or where they're coming from. Talking to them, it's my job to make them comfortable and make sure that they are able to trust me to come forward and open up to me and let me know that, hey, it's okay to go forward with your care.
Right.
So the process is, we do not take any information that will make them uncomfortable, like for Social Security, or if they don't want to give us their, any information that they may feel will, increment them or have some legal issues. We always want to appear as healthcare providers that are there for their care, not because you're undocumented, then you are going to be in trouble for being undocumented. So after explaining to them, they do, release their fears and start trusting into CHA. And it's been a great journey for everyone, because they do come out and say, I've had this pain in my breast for a very long time, but because I'm undocumented, I didn't want to come forward. I wanted to be quiet about it. So I have a great team that makes sure that they are comfortable, and we don't take any information that they feel that they shouldn't give to us. Again, we are here for their care, not for their legal standing.
Right. And that's probably true of anybody that comes in, because I'm going to bet someone who's in a very difficult financial situation, who's got a lot of struggles in life, maybe they, they're in debt, so they've got creditors. Also may not want to share a lot of information either, correct?
Absolutely. We also provide we express ourselves in a way where we don't want to pressure the patient, where they will not come forward to continue with their care. We want to make sure they are comfortable.
Man, that is just so wonderful. It's so wonderful to hear. I'm like, even me, like, I don't love going to the doctor, I'm going to tell you,
Right,
because every time I go, it's painfully
right.
laborious.
Right,
but
right, right. Well, there is a place, and we tell the community there is a place called Community Health Alliance where, you know, if you're low income, unemployed, and you don't have any means to, and you're afraid that you're going to get a bill, no, we're there for them. We are very transparent in our process. So
I love it.
yeah, there's no underlying read between the lines. They hear the truth, and they feel very trustworthy, and that's.
Right. Now, tell me, if you will, what you do at Community Health Alliance. What's your role there?
So my main goal is to capture and foster and involve patient care within a team. Um, and I have to tell you, I work with providers that are highly trainable, full of heart. They just don't sit there for 5 minutes and then go out of the room. So I'm very happy to let you know that we have providers that really extend their time to make sure that all the care that they need are captured. And I do manage all the care coordination. So
Mhm.
when it comes to testings needed for mammograms, for example, they do let me know, and then I get an order for that, and I make sure that order is processed correctly, and I do a lot of eligibility processing with patients. So that is a huge part of my job, is making sure that patients are processed correctly and efficiently, so that, you know, bottom line is there will be no problems for the patients in the end, because all they have to really worry about is how are they going to get the care.
Yeah. No, so really, you're having a lot of contact with the patients.
Yes, yes. There's a lot of contact with the patients, a lot of questions that I have, and they do answer. There's a lot of me being involved with the providers, talking about, hey, what should we do now? Let's say, for example, the mammogram is abnormal. What's the next step? Let's do a diagnostic ultrasound. So we're there for them every step of the way.
How nice. That is actually something regular doctor offices should probably focus on too, let me tell
Right,
you.
right. Yes.
So now I did know you're the cancer screening coordinator
Yes.
also.
Yes.
So a lot of what we do, obviously, is to focus on early detection and
Mm-hmm.
prevention. And
Right.
you and I both know, in the Hispanic community, due to the reasons we've already discussed, sometimes that is a difficult
Yes.
thing to accomplish. So one, we
Right.
love that you're helping us accomplish it. Two,
Mm-hmm.
tell me how.
So it is, you're right. You know, based on our culture, there's a lot of restraints, especially, you know, older patients. They feel like, oh, I don't have to go to the doctor. I'll die. You know, that's,
Yeah.
you know, my destiny. But with every time the patients walk in at CHA, we're liable for their care. You know, as soon as they put their foot in the door, the providers are all over their care. They make sure that their screening and prevention is up to date, and they don't walk the patient. We don't allow patients to walk out without knowing what else is there. You know, what else is there that we can cover for the patient, because we know based on their culture, sometimes they may not come back. So I have a really good team, and plus myself, who do extensive outreach, you know,
Mm-hmm.
calling patients, and before patients leave the room, they are being told, this is what you need, this is why you need it, and if you don't do this test, this is what's going to happen. So we are giving you this option, and also the necessity to know why this certain type of test is important for you. Majority of the time, when somebody sits down and talks to them about it, and really talk with your heart and let them know what the reasons could be if you don't do the test, they understand, and then they start feeling like they should start caring for themselves. So
Yeah.
they do get up and say, okay, let's do the test, because I don't want to get cancer. And, you know, early detection is better than, you know, not even seeing it at all. So we really foster that, promote that, and encourage early detection in every aspect.
Right. Which, you know, that's I noticed, I'm not a statistics person. Let me rephrase that. I love statistics. I did research for years,
Right.
but I
Right.
know that people don't care about the statistics. It's the real, it's the real tangible items.
Yes.
But I just have noticed when we've started to promote early detection, our mortality rate went way down.
Mm.
And that's how we're going to fight this at
Right.
this moment.
Right. Nip it
So
in the bud.
yeah, exactly. So now, are you able, now I know you said you had the labs and all that there. Are you able to do mammograms at the office? Are
No,
you,
unfortunately, we don't have that capability. We have
okay,
a very strong commitment and relationship with Reno Diagnostic Center.
okay.
They do 100% of, well, let's say maybe 95% of our patients
Mm-hmm.
for mammograms, diagnostic ultrasound, different types of, they can even do biopsies for us. We have other resources also that can do imaging for us, but it's another type of grant and
Mm-hmm.
funding program. But unfortunately, right now, we don't have that capability of having any imaging done in our facility,
So,
which is not a problem because
no,
Reno Diagnostic Center is amazing. They're nearby. Patients are local patients that come to them are very satisfied with their service.
oh yeah, definitely. I figured you wouldn't pick anybody that wasn't
Oh,
fantastic. That's
yes,
how I feel.
absolutely. Oh, yes.
So, along those lines, though, like, I just want to be clear. So,
Mm-hmm.
you are actually able to, and maybe I'm wrong, so maybe you could
Mm-hmm.
help me figure this out.
Sure.
Our funding that we grant
Mm-hmm.
covers as many of those costs as possible. Is that
Yes.
correct? Or okay?
Yes, yes, yes. And we are very grateful that you guys are there and able to give us resources for the community. Um,
Are you
and
kidding?
yes,
You know what? It's funny because I feel the exact. I'm like, I'm grateful that you're there.
yes, they have a place to go
That's
to.
yes.
We
I mean,
work
what
hand
good
in
way?
hand.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, especially with the population that we cater to and we welcome. Susan G. Komen is a very, very utilized resource.
Oh, good. I'm glad
Yes,
to hear that.
right,
Again, and we always know it's never enough, right?
right,
And
right. Oh, yes.
yeah, I totally get that. Um, but along those lines, I just wanted to ask you. I know this is probably a silly question, but
Mm-hmm.
I had an idea. Is funding an issue for you guys?
I've been with CHA, Community Health Alliance, since November of last year. I have not seen any funding issues. I do
Awesome.
also work with Ann Corey. She is the
Yeah.
expert in the grant writing and funding and processing all that. So she's an amazing lady. I don't know her behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
from my point of view, I haven't really seen or considered any problem with the funding that you guys offer us, or if there's been any humps that we've had to go over and any hurdles. So far, every time the provider gives me an order, I process the order, I make the eligibility and the requirements, as efficient as possible that I can for the patient.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any problems so far when it comes to funding.
Oh, that's great. And you're not having to turn away tons and tons and tons of people.
Absolutely not. Oh, we
Awesome.
are at this point, even though there's this COVID pandemic,
Yeah.
going around and happening all at the same time, people are so weary. They're still coming. They still know the concern that they should put in themselves when it
Hmm.
comes to doing a mammogram.
Right.
Men and women of all, both genders, and it's really nice to see that they're still trying to reach out to us, and it's really nice to see that we're still here to be able to protect them and make sure we initiate care for them.
Right. So even now during this pandemic, people can still, if they're not comfortable with just walking in the front door,
No,
right? They can
yes,
pick up the
yes,
phone and call you and say,
absolutely.
hey,
Yeah,
here's my concern. And you
right,
guys literally will address all different concerns, and
of
then you will
course.
point them in the right direction. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is our main goal, is to always direct them to the right direction.
Okay.
After all, you come in as a patient, you're lost. What am I going to do after you come in for an hypertension? yet you know there's other issues in your underlying issues that you may have, our providers are highly trained to see and capture all that and make sure the screening and prevention and early detection testings that we have should be covered.
Right.
And we do have telehealth available, so patients who are not comfortable in seeing face-to-face, they can have a telehealth with a provider. So that is very available to everyone. In fact, all our offices in Sparks, Neal Road, Wells Avenue, North Valley, they're all doing telehealth visits.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions.
Okay. Sure.
The next one is completely not self-motivated, but location motivated. And
Sure.
that's that obviously in this like 15, 20 minutes that we've had, I think you guys are an amazing organization.
Thank you.
Do you have a counterpart down here in Las Vegas?
Really? That's okay. The more, the better. Everybody can give services to everyone in the community.
I mean, do you know of anybody in Las Vegas that?
No, I don't actually.
I don't either. I'm going to have to find it because it's just amazing. And
I'm not so sure, but I should look into that. It's good to know. Good information to know.
We never know, right? This is it'll be our homework assignment. It's just that I mean, there's a need everywhere. You know what I mean? You and I know that. I'm just being in this line of work.
Right.
I see it every day. So
yes.
And my thing is, I want to be a resource too. Like, how great would it be to have an organization like yours in other parts of Nevada? Like, I worry about the really rural parts of Nevada too. You know what I mean? So.
That's absolutely true. We have gone over that in some of our meetings, and we are very concerned in the rural areas. And, in the near future, this is something our CEO should be looking into. In fact, I'm sure he's already looking into it. But it's good to be able to have availability and reach out to the rural areas. Yes.
Absolutely.
And speaking of culture, their culture too and mentality in the rural areas is sometimes they don't get up and see a doctor because it's really easier. They think that it's easier for them to stay home and not care for their health. But really, if we have an organization that is able to reach out there and tell them, no, you can get help. You don't have to be in fear of, not being able to get the proper care. We're here for you. So. And in the near future, I'm pretty much sure there'll be a way for us to be able to reach out to the rural areas.
Yeah. Actually, you just gave me another question that I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Please forgive me, but you just I told you this was going to happen. You're going to say something and I'm going to be like, oh, I got a question. Actually, and I'm not that this is going to work right now, but 2 things, considering the medical climate we're in right now, which is just unprecedented.
I like how you said that.
It's an unprecedented time, and every day I realize I think I've wrapped my head around it, and then I hear more and I'm like, oh no, I'm still not there, right? It just gets bigger and bigger. It's going to affect us all, obviously, down the road, even a year down the road. So I feel that at some point, and it's because you have a medical aspect, would it make sense to have people in the rural communities at least call and say, here's what's going on in my body. Do I need to go to a doctor, or is that completely out of the?
It is not. It's very doable, and I think it's very highly ideal for rural areas to. Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I kept my dog in the closet. Well, not in the closet, in the room.
Right. This never happens. Oh, there she goes. She went away. I'm so sorry.
No, that's so cute. Oh, that's adorable.
Oh my God. She's perfect in every way.
Okay. Anyways. So yes. I think that rural areas, outreach to rural areas and rural areas coming forward and calling about their concerns with their health, I think is a really good way to start and initiate care with them. I think having a relationship with them and letting them know that it's okay to ask questions, it's okay to call us, that's a great idea. And that's something I would like to really put on the table and find a way for the far away community who are not able to come to be able to call us and let us know their concerns.
Yeah.
And then we
I mean, because that seems more handleable on both
Yes.
ends right at this
Yes.
moment. So,
Yes.
you know, to have someone that's kind of resistant to the idea of driving 2.5 hours to a doctor,
Right.
how great to just pick up the phone and say, you know, look, here's what's happening. Here's, I have this, you know, cut. Here's what it looks, whatever it might be.
Right.
I love it.
And that's a great idea. And I think that's something that everybody should be doing, and being able to communicate and connect with a provider and the clinic. And again, we have that telehealth availability, so it shouldn't be a problem. And definitely great. I will mention it to the committee when we have our next meeting.
See, look, I told you I was a genius.
Yes,
right?
You are. You're absolutely a genius. Great idea.
I'm a genius and a liar, so just be careful, right? Yeah. All right, so the last question, I promise this will be the last question, because I get so excited about the information that's coming towards me. I often miss things. So did I not ask a very important question that I should have asked and you need to tell us?
Sure.
Or have we covered things?
You know, I just want to say that, you know, our providers are very highly trained, and they are knowledgeable in men's and women's health services. You know, they seek out to make sure everyone is updated with their mammograms and other testings that are needed. We try to cover all the gaps. Our main goal really is to render services for optimal health for disadvantaged persons in the community. And I'm a huge testimony, because my mother also went through cancer, and I got to tell you, the resources in this facility and the other resources that we work with has really helped me a lot with my mother's care. She passed away, unfortunately, but I do miss her. But during this time of my stay at Community Health Alliance, I have to tell you, it's a real testimony that I did get a lot of help and a lot of advice and suggestions on how and where I should go, and I really got good direction. And because of that, I'm doing that for my patients. I'm doing that for the doctor's patients, and making sure that they all know about Susan G. Komen, because it is out there, it is available for everyone, and I think it should be utilized for the disadvantaged individuals.
Man, I will tell you, honestly, this conversation has been very inspiring.
Oh, thank you. You're inspiring me too.
Oh, good. Look at us. I think that especially now, right? I'm locked in my house. Unfortunately, I do live with the two cutest cats in the world.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, but there's moments where you're just like, am I out here alone? Am I what am I doing? And you really made me think about now more than ever, the service that you guys provide as a whole, not just the mammograms.
No, it's a whole.
Is amazing, just amazing.
Thank you.
I feel really it's a model that
thank you.
States should be looking at in general, honestly. And I'm sure that other states have.
Yes.
I get that, but
yes.
I'm so excited, actually.
Thank you so much.
To be a part of it.
Thank you so much.
I can't even articulate it right now.
And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to introduce CHA to you and what we do. And you know, we speak from our heart. We have a great team. I'm always saying that, and I'm true to those words. And we have a great chief executive officer, and the teams underneath him are really working together. We just want to be out there helping the patients.
Which is great. So if you don't mind, now I realize you're in the Reno Sparks area, and that's great. So when we're done, I'm actually going to post a link to your website, if that's okay.
Sure.
So people can get a hold of you from up there. Again, I love the idea of people just picking up the phone and being able to say, I'm having chest pains.
Right.
Come, I think that's awesome. So,
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
honestly, thank you. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. I'm going to also tell you we will probably be doing this again as a
Sure.
refresher.
I
And
hope to see you two again.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and we will be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Bye.
Bye-bye.